Welcome back to Building and Breaking, where we talk about how brands are built, trust is broken, and what we can all learn from it. I'm your host, Nina Kovner. And this week, we're talking about something that may make some folks a little uncomfortable. However, I believe it's a really important conversation to have and super relevant to our industry, the professional beauty industry. So, the topic for today is, are professional beauty brands dead? So, I got that question in my DMs a few months ago, and honestly, it's a question I've been getting quite often over the last few years. And conversations that come up in my DMs, come up with clients, come up with, people in the community. So, we're going to start by looking at this through a brand story and strategy lens because, duh, that's literally what I do. So let's set some context. Here's what's happening. We have seen over the years pro beauty brands expand into new channels. Now, that could be selling direct via the web, e-commerce. That could be going into places like Sephora or Ulta, et cetera, TikTok shop, and go on and on. So that naturally began to blur the lines between pro and non-pro and really has shifted what it means to be called a professional salon brand. And with that, naturally, has come a lot of disappointment, a lot of hurt, betrayal, feelings of betrayal, broken trust, etc. And here's the truth. If we're being completely honest and looking at this through a macro lens, most of that disappointment is not necessarily directly connected to a decision to go into a different channel. It's about broken brand promises. And that's universal. No matter what brand you are, no matter what industry you're in, brand promises are such a huge part of the relationship between a brand and its customer, its client. So it's more of how decisions are made and are or are not clearly communicated in a way that shows respect to beauty pros and honors their contribution to the growth of every single pro brand. And in the conversations that I've had over the years, that's really where, again, if we're looking at this through a macro lens, the majority of people, that's where the breakdown is happening. And that's true literally in life, right? That's true in our personal relationships. That's true in our business relationships. That's true if you're a salon owner working with a team, clients and working with clients. So much of this, so much of managing expectations and minimizing miscommunication and disconnection has to do with going back to clear communication, right? And the truth is, in my experience, most pro beauty brands have not done a good job in that arena. Um, so that's kind of the kind of overarching thing is this is as much about brand promises and broken brand promises as it is anything else. So I want to make sure that, and I shared this in a reel a few months ago because I actually outlined this episode a few months ago, pre-spinal fusion surgery. But I want to be really clear. The bottle is not what made professional hair care professional. Like that, literally, if we really are being objective and aren't centering ourselves in this conversation, it's a fucking bottle of shampoo, okay? So it really is not about the bottle, right? It's not a specific ingredient. It's not a specific package design. It's not even a specific distribution agreement. It's always been the pro. It's always been the salon, the stylist, the expertise, the education, the personalization, the experience, the solutions, the care, all the things that make a salon experience unique. And it's what gives any bottle or jar or tube its professional value. Now, yeah, of course, they're typically over time, professional hair care, especially in the early years, going back 40, 50 years, especially in the early years, there was more advanced technology generally in a pro hair care solution than there was in the grocery store. But those days are over. Those days are over. And if we really look at what makes a professional beauty brand professional, it's the salon, it's the hairdresser. Because that, again, is where the value is. That's how you can legitimize a professional claim. That's not changed, regardless of where a pro beauty brand chooses to distribute. But again, this is about brand promises. And if a pro beauty brand was built on a pro first or independent distributor first from day one, and then just wakes up one day and makes a change without warning, without explanation, or just really embarrassing, like um, communication or manipulative communication or disrespectful communication, or what some people call gaslighting, you're going to get pushback. You're going to get pushback. But if you never made that promise in the first place, if you were never we are pro only, then it's a different story. It's a different reaction. It's a different set of expectations. I've talked about this a lot on the pod. I've talked about it on the Costco episode. I talked about it on the Target episode, the Southwest Airlines episode. So, I mean, pretty much every episode. But brands that build trust consistently, they're the ones that win. It's the consistency of that, right? Keeping promises. Brands that break their promises, they get called out. I mean, that's natural. That's just going to happen. And I believe it was the Target. Yeah, in the Target episode, I talked about the difference between Target and Walmart and why Target was getting pushback and has continued to get pushback on their backing down from their inclusivity promise because they were literally built on that from day one versus Walmart, who never, their brand inclusivity is not part of their brand promises. So I'm not going to push back on Walmart. What am I pushing back on in the context of inclusivity? I'm not, because Walmart never made that promise, but Target did, and that's the difference. Trust is built on promises kept, and that's a brand fundamental that applies literally to every brand in every industry. So there's that, and when we're talking about professional hair care, there's a really important, again, important context, important perspective, important understanding is that this industry has always presented quote unquote retail as a revenue generator. First and last and foremost and all the things. Professional hair care is a separate category, quote unquote, called retail, and completely like has nothing to do with the salon service. It literally is like this thing, this standalone thing, which is so weird to me because a salon service cannot be delivered without product or tools or whatever. And revenue's the result, not the reason. And we all know how much hairdressers love to sell products. Yeah. So they don't love to sell products, but they love to use them because, of course, we can't do our job without them. But the revenue's the result, not the reason. The reason for this entire category of professional hair care is happy clients, educated clients, empowered clients, confident clients, clients who feel beautiful, they feel valued, they feel cared for. during and after their salon visit. Because when that happens, trust builds, right? Trust builds, retention grows, referrals happen, lifetime client value increases. Happy clients create happy stylists create happy businesses. And ultimately, that's the outcome we're seeking. That's the results we're seeking. So, the positioning of hair care itself is one of the problems that we're having in our industry, which again, I've talked about a million times. So, what does this all mean? What does this all mean? Well, this is what I recommend to my clients and what I recommend to pro beauty brands. So for salon owners and stylists, stay focused on what you have control over, which is the experience you create, the clients you serve, and choose the pro beauty brands that align with your brand and the solutions you want to deliver to your clients. Be discerning. Talked about discerning a lot in the 2026 Trends and Outlooks conversation. Discerning's good. We want you to make choices that align. We want you to make choices that you are getting the value that you seek from that relationship with that pro beauty brand or distributor or any type of partnership that you create. Because ultimately, you need to stay focused on what's happening inside your four walls. Your four walls. You are not competing with Sephora and Ulta and TikTok Shop and Amazon and the brand's e-commerce. That is literally the last place you need to be looking at. The only place you need to be looking at is what's happening inside your four walls and the opportunity you have to serve every single client that walks through your door inside your four walls. You don't need to carry every brand. You're not competing. You are staying focused on care, trust, and value and delivering on the promises that that's what you do best. That's what you do best. That's what you do best. Remember that and stay focused. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to stay focused. We live in a very distracting world. But honestly, like that's the solution. That's the solution. And it's okay to be upset at pro beauty brands. If you had a relationship with a brand that broke their promises and is no longer of value to you or aligned with you, that's okay. Find one that is, right? That's good. I mean, it's a bummer, but it's good long term for you. You have to make decisions based on the things that matter most to you. For professional beauty brands, look, if you choose to serve the pro channel, stay focused on what the pros value and need. Because it is rarely, and I've shared this in some episodes last year, it's rarely a flashy ad campaign or a celebrity spokesperson or a bunch of influencers or more shampoos. It's education, it's support, it's clear communication, it's providing solutions that salon needs to deliver on their brand promises. You are that partner in delivering that experience, in helping salons create value. And I mean, that's literally it, right? And with that comes, of course, profitability, et cetera, et cetera. That's what salons and stylists are seeking. They want a true partnership, community, trust, and respect. Respect of their time, and respect for, remembering that without quote unquote pros, there is no pro beauty brand. And so all these brands were built by pros at one time or another. So it's okay. Look, it's okay if you want to expand your distribution. It's okay if you want to enter a new channel. You just have to get really honest with yourself about the brand promises that you've made and what that looks like and the impacts that these decisions are going to have on the relationships that you've built in the pro channel. And if you're going to make those changes, be honest, be clear, be respectful. and you might be surprised at the reaction. So, is professional hair care dead? Hair care? No, no, absolutely not. I don't want it to be, and I don't believe that it is. But the market is very different and a lot more discerning. And honestly, that's a good thing because it helps us focus on what matters most to the people we serve, whether it be salon clients, salon teams, salons, hairstylists, or distributors. And the salons and stylists that are clear on their brand story, who take care of their clients, who choose brands that align with who they are, keep going. You're doing awesome. And for the pro beauty brands that keep their promises, even when I know it can get really difficult, you're going to continue to earn the trust of the pro. And that's it. Trust is the foundation. And trust is built on promises kept. And that's why I named this podcast Building and Breaking. That's why this podcast is all about brand fundamentals and trust, either building it or breaking it. I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode. When I actually did a reel on this episode a few months ago, I got a lot of thoughts, and I like that. I welcome that, as long as it's an honest conversation, as long as it's not disingenuous. I don't have the energy for disingenuous, but I do have the energy for important conversations that can provide more clarity for our industry and help everyone stay focused on what matters most. And that is building trust and serving our customers and clients. So you can always find me on the socials at Nina L. Kovner. You can always email me, Nina at passionsquare.net. And I'd love to hear from you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you again for, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, thank you for being patient with me as I learn to talk with my new retainer. And as I shared in last week's episode, I talk so often about perfection being a myth. And that's why I'm choosing to keep my retainer in when I record these episodes. I thought about that for a minute last week, and I'm like, I bet people are like, just take the retainer out. You're doing the steps. That wasn't the point. Perfection is a myth. And I think we could all learn to do things a little bit more imperfect, coming from a recovering perfectionist. And I really mean that. And I don't mean shitty. I don't mean low quality. I don't mean anything like that. I'm talking about engaging with our communities and not waiting for like the perfect moment, because there is no perfect moment. And whoever's listening, whether you're a stylist, a salon owner, a pro beauty brand executive, a distributor executive, a DSC, all of us, it's good to be reminded now and again that while the internets have made us believe that people are living these perfect lives and have these perfect businesses, that's just absolutely false. And so I am really leaning into my do it imperfect, with all of the challenges I've had personally this year, physically, my physical, between my surgery and this retainer. So thank you. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for your grace. I really appreciate it. I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a peaceful day wherever you are, and I'll see you next week. Bye.